Hey guys, this is Sarah with that hashtag show. I am here with Ryan Turek to talk about the new upcoming Halfway to Halloween Film Festival at AMC. Hello, Ryan. Thanks so much for talking about
Hello. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, halfway to Halloween.
this. This
Time is
is so
flying.
exciting,
Time is
right? We're
flying. I know.
here. You got to beat Christmas. Like Halloween is better than Christmas.
It really is. I don't do Christmas cards anymore. I just do Halloween cards.
hmm I
Yeah,
love it.
that's the new change in my life. I used to do Christmas cards, but not anymore.
Please tell me you're all dressed up. Like,
But we do the family. We do illustrations. We'll call an artist that we really respect and commission them to do like a family portrait or something like that.
that's
So
so cool. I hope I make the list this year. I need to see it.
hell yeah, let's do
Awesome.
it.
So let's talk about this Halfway to Halloween Film Festival. It's the first one. So tell me a little bit about what it is.
Yeah, halfway to Halloween is just it's an opportunity. Well, it's an opportunity for obviously Blumhouse fans and also a younger generation who may have missed some of these movies in theaters to get an opportunity to see them in theaters over the course of uh from Friday to Tuesday. And it's also a celebration in a sense of Insidious's 13th anniversary,
Crazy.
and that's kind of where things kind of kicked off. It was just like we recognized it's happy 13th birthday, Insidious. We just merged with Atomic Monster and James Wan's company, so let's celebrate that as well. But with halfway to Halloween coming up and our love for AMC theaters, let's just celebrate it. Let's celebrate Halloween the best way possible by kind of exhuming some older titles that put Blumhouse on the map. Purge and Sinister and Insidious, and celebrate those and allow people to go into a communal experience and get their pants scared off them and kind of old fashioned. And also, in my mind too, it's also to like see how far directors have come. Like Mike Flanagan did Ouija Origin of Evil, and now he's known for great shows like Usher, or Midnight Mass. Scott Derrickson, who did Sinister, he revisited Blumhouse, with Black Phone and soon Black Phone 2, and Lee Wanell. Yeah, Lee Wanell, Lee Wanell put a stamp on The Invisible Man, and it's a beloved Universal classic movie monster. And now he's working on The Wolf Man. So it's just kind of like, I almost say it's like a fun educational experience too, in addition to just enjoying some movies and popcorn.
I love that. So let's talk about this lineup a little bit and how you guys decided on which movies to do.
Why not kick things off with Sinister, which science tells us is the scariest movie of all time. So scientific studies have shown. Yeah, so Sinister and then The Purge. And The Purge is kind of like quintessential Blumhouse, it's like one of those movies that's like high concept, keyhole look into like a much larger world, a Twilight Zone-esque concept that's out, like completely outrageous. And then there's Ouija Origin of Evil, which is, our a prequel to Ouija, but directed by Mike Flanagan, which felt like just a fun, spooky time at the movies. Insidious, like I said, was having its 30th anniversary, and then Invisible Man, which kind of felt like a good appetizer for when The Wolfman comes out later this year.
I love that. These are a lot of my favorites. Fun fact, if you went to Halloween Horror Nights and you saw The Purge, there was always The Purge in the tram, right?
Mm-hmm.
My friend was the guy in the video that played the
Very
guy.
good. Very good. Yeah.
I'm like, look at you every year.
I'll still never forget. There was the Universal Halloween Horror Nights always does a great job of The Purge, because I've seen it on both coasts now. I've done the one in LA, and then I visited Orlando one year, and it was I had early access to the park, and they do a big ceremonial thing where like someone gets on top of a shipping container and they do the whole purge announcement, and then the horns start blasting and they open these gates and like tons of people come running out with chainsaws, and I was like, this is it. I'm going to die. This is what it would be like to live the purge, and I'm not going to survive. But there was just like chills down my spine when you hear those horns, the warning bell play in real life. So yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Now, I want to ask you, because you are, I feel like, a godfather of horror. You've been in this realm for a very long time. You even started your own horror website a long time ago, which I used to read all the time.
Oh, thank you.
For you, like what makes a great horror movie?
Yeah, I mean that's changed over the years.
Absolutely.
That has changed like from when I was seeing horror movies when I was like, 8 or 9 to now 47. It's like what I want. I'm still quite giddy when I see heads being decapitated or, going to see a new Saw movie and someone's got to do something awful with their leg or, I mean, like I still get a lot of joy of that, strangely. But I mean, like, but now I'm looking for like kind of deeper connective tissue, and I'm looking for voices that feel, voices that feel fresh and feel like they're tapping into something that hasn't been tapped into before, even if they're playing within concepts that we've seen time and time again. It's like, I can use kind of like, my benchmark movies, like, 28 Days Later, Danny Boyle put his stamp on quote unquote the zombie genre by looking at it through the lens of kind of like, a world tragedy and, that came out in the wake of 9/11. So there was just like a lot of echoes of that through there. But it's just like, okay, who are the filmmakers that just have a unique worldview and can just obviously have the scary movie language that's going to make me jump out of my seat. Now, mind you, again, I've seen a lot of experienced a lot in the theater, but it's like, if you can get me to jump, then I applaud you.
Yeah. Same.
But also the
Yeah.
other thing too is just like, how can you disturb and unsettle and also have something to say? And I
Absolutely.
like to think that like a lot of the movies on this slate too kind of like represent all of that. I mean, Invisible Man, has a ton to say about domestic abuse and thrill. There's just like Lee just kind of unpacked a lot of stuff. It's Sleeping with the Enemy with the Invisible Man,
Yeah.
and The Purge, a whole other thing about this country's gun violence and all of that. But again, it's like they're packing it into an entertaining, scary movie.
Mhm.
That's first and foremost, and then you get to like kind of peel away at the onion layer and go, okay, what else is this movie saying? And those are the movies that stand the test of time. Those are the movies that people keep talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
With this lineup, Insidious, I remember seeing Insidious in theaters. And I really feel like it was the first time you kind of really entered into that ghost world in such a different way.
yeah,
And like with the lipstick demon and having the iconic like tiptoe through the tulips
oh
and
yeah,
the claps thing, like you're just like, why are things happening around me? Like the
yeah.
children are, it's such an iconic movie that has such like a memorable experience, like theatrical experience in my mind. So I'm so excited to see that a lot of these are coming back because as you said, right, you can watch them on your TV, you can watch them on DVD, but it's
Yeah,
not quite the same as seeing them with other people who love horror movies in a theater, like that
that's
energy.
absolutely right. Yeah, that's right. And it's just like, I feel like horror too has had, the fan base for this genre has grown exponentially over the last like couple decades.
Mhm.
I can't walk down the street without seeing or going to the gym for that matter and seeing someone with like a torn up Chucky shirt or like a Tiffany shirt, and I'm like, man, he's like, horror has just broken through. I was walking down the street and I mean, like I just saw kind of like uh, um, a homemade Happy Death Day shirt. And I was just like, wait a second, someone just made their own babyface shirt. That's wild. So
Cool.
it's just it's an opportunity for all of these folks and people who are maybe curious about horror, very curious to see, where Insidious got their start. If someone was just like scrolling through Netflix and they were like, oh, Insidious 5, and just happened to start watching Insidious 5, they can go back to the theater and see where it all began.
Exactly. And my last thing for you, and then I will let you go.
Yep.
With the success of Imaginary, when I was talking with Jason and Jeff about that, I asked them what was their gateway horror movie? Like, because I feel like Imaginary is such a great first step into this
Yeah.
genre. And as you said, this could be a step for people that are ready to take it. So for
Yeah.
you, what was that movie for you? What was the movie you saw and just thought, I have to have more of this?
Fright Night, 1985.
It's a great
That
one. I
was
love that
that
movie.
was the movie. Yeah, because it was a movie that, was sold as a scary film, but it was a classic boy who cried wolf scenario. and me being 8 or 9 at that time when I went to go see it, I was just like, oh, I'm that kid. And I identified even though the kid, Charlie Brewster, in that movie was much older than I was. Just the concept of there's a stranger next door and he might be evil. He could be a vampire, just like sunk its teeth into me. And thankfully the movie was like, it had an edge to it, but it kind of cut the edge because it was also funny. And it showed me that horror movies could be funny too, as long as it's like done in equal dose, equal amounts of horror and humor. And that just kind of set me off. That was it, And then after that, it was like Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 and American Werewolf in London and Aliens and all of that. So yeah.
Yeah, Jason's was American Werewolf in London. So you
Yeah.
named one of his.
Yeah.
So awesome. Thank you so much, Ryan. I hope everyone goes to the theater. Go to AMC. It's only $8 to
Yeah,
go see all these movies,
$8.
which is incredible.
Yeah, $8, 100 theaters. 100 theaters, 44 markets. But yeah, go to amctheaters.com and there's like a cool hub there. So
perfect. Awesome.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much. I know I'm going to dive back in. I would love to see some of these movies again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.